Alright guys, welcome back to VALORANT News. G2 and other teams in challenges are getting ready for their preparation for face-off in just a couple of days' time. G2 play Oxygen in the very first round, but it's OXY, the player on G2 right now, the standout in the series they played against SR just the other day. Given a lot of credit by G2 ShahZaM for his performances lately. ShahZaM reckons that even professional teams on the franchise level should be concerned if they were to play him, and maybe changes down the line could happen for franchise teams where they sign a player just like this. Very much enjoyed your thoughts in the comments below. Hit the like button if you enjoy. Subscribe if you're new as always. I would greatly appreciate it. First of all, some drama a little bit in the tier 2 scene with Dazzle saying, of course, from SR the other day, don't know what to say. They lost to G2, of course, with just massive scrimmers this split, because that's the thing. Many teams said when SR went into this split that they were doing so well in scrims, but it seems like they just couldn't translate that. And yes, many of the series they lost were close, but they never really were able to deliver in the matches what they were able to achieve, I guess, in practice behind the scenes. Lacked so much confidence across the board in our officials. We hold ourselves to the standard that we are one of the best teams in the league. Hopefully we can show our actual performance next split, or actual potential next split. Just realized this was the first North American tournament or league we failed to qualify for since I joined it back in at 2021. So unfortunate for SR. They can come back stronger next stage, but they will have to, right? Because all the other teams that qualify for this, they get the chance to put more points on the board at this face-off tournament, where SR will have to catch up massively next time around, which is going to make qualifying for them harder. Not out of the question, because their group is achievable, but yeah, nonetheless, not a great performance of SR. Now, of course, we saw yesterday that Bones had joined this team. Now, it turns out this guy's only 15, so I don't believe he'd be able to really be competing anyway, even though maybe they could find a way to make it happen. But it was noted yesterday that Marder, Vic, Moose, B-Dog, and Bone were playing together here in this Knights Monthly Gauntlet tournament, which they ended up winning last night with relative ease. Now, Dazzle says, yep, yeah, he's joined, welcome Bones, all this stuff. Now, it seems like Dazzle is still there. I don't think Dazzle's been dropped for this player, but it's kind of confusing as to why they didn't play fully as a team, because last night, the son of four dogs, as they say, decided to play as effectively the SR team in the Knights Monthly Gauntlet and win it without too much difficulty. Now, there's a bit of controversy about this, right? Because you were a tier 2 challengers team, just going down to the Knights Arena Monthly Gauntlet and just deciding to smurf down there, because these guys are obviously very good. Yes, they didn't have the greatest performance in tier 2, but they're better than like any other team that's down there in that bracket. And as Dazzle says, respect to my teammates stat padding after a horrible split. There was even some discussion that Dazzle had said, oh, you know, these guys, they're trying so hard here in this tournament and they won't give me their 100% effort for the actual matches, especially when they brought a new player in. And I think maybe Dazzle didn't want to play with them in this, just because having the full 5-man team here maybe felt like it was a bit too much. I don't know, but still, obviously it worked out for these guys. Moose reckons the stats went down, but still, they won the tournament. There was a bit of controversy though from Cal here from TPG, who says, is it a bit cringe of a Challengers team to just smurf in a Mickey Mouse tournament, and these guys come down from Challengers to play it fully salaried? They're on a boot camp, of course. They took money and experience away from teams that are still growing. So what do you guys think about this? Now, the money part I can understand, right? Them coming down here, given the fact that they are fully salaried, to go down to the tier 3 situation, just win this tournament, take the prize money away from other teams that might have won it, is maybe understandable to be frustrated. The experience one, I don't really buy it, because I actually think that if I was a team in tier 3 playing the Knights Monthly Gauntlet and I got a chance to play against SR, effectively the full SR team down there in this Gauntlet tournament, like, I'd be really happy with that. That's the experience you want, I think, as a player on that level. You want the chance to play against teams on this level, and therefore you can grow and improve as a result of it. So I don't really mind that part. The money part, I think, is a little bit of an interesting question, but still, they played this tournament, they won this tournament, and well, Dazzle, I guess, is going to be back relatively soon. Also, an update on Masters Tokyo confirmed the 2 venues for Masters. So the first part is going to be played in this venue, the Tipstar Dome Chiba, and then the Makuhari Mess is going to be the second stage. I believe this venue has about a 9,000 capacity. The first venue, we're talking like 3,500 maybe. So, you know, there's an argument to say they could have pushed these numbers higher. The Japanese Valorant audience is massive. It has the highest numbers right now for any of the Challengers regions around the world, so there's no real surprise that Masters Tokyo is going to be a banger. Now, maybe part of what they're thinking is they don't want Masters Tokyo to be bigger than Champions, so they might have just decided, you know, we're not going to get the biggest venue we could. They could have been more optimistic, I think, with the venue sizes here. I think they could definitely sell out more than 9k seats, especially near Tokyo. And also, there was some discussions from the Japanese audience that these venues aren't actually actually in Tokyo. Like, Chiba is outside of Tokyo slightly, and so is this second venue as well. So it's Masters Tokyo, but it's actually outside of Metropolitan Tokyo. So I don't know. I don't really know if it matters too much. It's still in the general ballpark, but nonetheless, those are the updates on the venues there, because they're doing 2 venues. So it's still a pretty interesting phenomenon to me, but I guess it makes sense because they don't have to hire the big one for longer than maybe they would do otherwise. And also, just to confirm here, the highest numbers for the first Challenger split around the world went to the Japanese region, 72,000 viewers, 160 peak viewers here in the grand finals. And that beats out what the North American side were capable of doing. They got to 145 peak, with FaZe versus Moist Moguls topping out 145 just the other day. And I believe there was about, maybe like Ludwig was streaming to like 30k, Charlie Moist Critical was streaming to like 25k, like Tarek had probably 40k or so. So, you know, even with the co-streams here in North America, still can't hit in challenges the numbers that, you know, the guys are hitting in Japan, which is pretty impressive from them. But nonetheless, I'm sure the face-off here for North America is going to do even better. And let's dive into that then, right? We've got loads of young, cracked players in the league right now. Obviously, Zekken is one over at Sentinels, but also OXY, G2 LFT OXY, was picked up not long ago by G2, and it was a controversial move at the time. Would this guy be any good? Turned out he's really rather good. And ShahZaM gives him a lot of credit in this clip I'm about to share for you guys. Says, like, this guy has been the truth for us. Yes, we're setting him up well, and he wants to give credit to himself and the team for setting up OXY to deliver performances, but he's been performing at a very high level. Was a crucial reason why they took down Shopify Rebellion so easily, to be honest, in the series they played against them just the other day. And he reckons that this guy is effectively the future of Valorant. Very high praise.
OXY's so good. Like, this kid is literally the future of Valorant, and people don't know. Like, if he had a chance to play against these franchise teams, like, bro, he's so good. Reina's orange.
I'm holding him.
Yellow.
Yellow.
Nice.
Can I get the defuse?
Yeah.
He's insane that last series? No, he's insane in general. Bro, he's like a young kid with that much talent, bro. It's pretty insane, like how like humble, like I don't know, dude.
I'm holding the tube.
Bro, I'm all in on OXY stocks. He's disciplined.
I'm gonna slow mid.
He's freaking good. Like, I'm pretty proud of the team though. We do like a good job setting him up here on the team.
This was that series, of course, the other day. OXY on the duelist on the Jets, map 1 on the Icebox, and then, of course, map 2 on Splitty was coming different, 23-10, and yeah, 42-26 over the series. One of the crucial reasons why G2 took this one without too much difficulty in the end. Top fragged in the lobby by an absolute mile, and that was enough to get the quick 2-0 victory. So, look, they play in the coming days a doable side of the bracket. They play Oxygen round 1. Definitely, like, a game that they can win. They probably should win, G2, given their performance in the split so far. Like, I'm not exactly sure how even they came up with this bracket still to make it so that G2 play Oxygen within their own group, but if they do win that, they probably play the guard, which is where things get challenging, right? So as ShahZaM said, he reckons that OXY, even up against the franchise teams, will be very strong and maybe good enough to play for those franchise teams and good enough to get signed by them at some point in the future if they want to. Then again, as I keep saying, if a team like G2 has offers for OXY, they will want a lot of money there, because if they sell OXY, one of their best players right now, their chances to win Ascension and get through to the Pro League or the Tier 1 League reduce significantly. So there is always that kind of debate going on there. But I think if they're to prove that G2 can really play against the top franchise teams, OXY's got to prove it against the likes of the Guard and M80 first, because those are kind of, to me, the gateway teams in a way. M80, the Guard, the two best teams as it stands in challenges. If OXY can perform well against them, then I think he can perform well against the franchise teams. Hopefully we get to see G2 versus the Guard on March the 24th, but it's only 2 days away on the 22nd where these matches are going to officially begin. Also, just a couple of things to mention before we close out the video here. If you see anything from the Valorant Times, just know that it's kind of fake news, right? So they said that Tarek is going to sign a multi-million-dollar deal to stream on Kick, and Tarek confirms that's not the case. I'm sure you guys know this anyway, but just to make sure, if you guys haven't to see this and thought it was legitimate, the Valorant Times always trying to joke around a little bit. There's also this from Valorintel. Who misses Breeze? Of course, Breeze and Bind gone from the map pool now. Pearl is in, Split is in. They've made the other changes. Lotus, of course, in as well. What would need to be changed here from Breeze as well, I do wonder going forwards, because we saw what they did with Split when they brought it back. Not much really changed. The layout was very similar, which I don't think was a bad thing necessarily. The Split layout fundamentally is good. There were a few problems which have not necessarily gone away, but there have been a few changes that do make a difference, right? Which is, I think they probably did a pretty decent job with Split. Now, with Breeze, you could argue they need to make more significant changes, and for it to deserve a spot back in the pool over the maps they currently have, it might need to have a bit of a revamp. I thought Breeze was always pretty good, but sometimes the defensive side was just way too easy to hold on certain situations, so I think maybe some changes are necessary. Bind as well, they're going to have to be working on something, because the map pool right now I don't think is great, and maybe a change with Breeze coming back in somewhere or another could be beneficial, but they probably need to update it and improve it a little bit if that is to happen. So very much enjoyed your thoughts on all of this stuff in the comment section below. Hit the like button if you enjoyed, subscribe if you guys are new, take care, and I'll see you next time.
In the beginning, we were up 200 RR, and now we just don't care no more.
It's that, you know what round it is? I know exactly what round it is. It's that eco on Split, the 10 second. Eco on Split. That was a day changer.
Yeah, that round was pretty annoying.
Almost down.
What?
One enemy.
Shit,